Hello and welcome to the collapse experiment. And if you enjoy this video, please remember to like and subscribe, share this video, comment, do whatever it is that you want to do. So on to the story. India and Pakistan. Gee, who could have saw that one coming? I don't know. Although my bigger concern was Pakistan and China. That was the one that got to me. I know that India and Pakistan have the same issues going on when it comes to water rights and population. However, I figured that at some point India and China would end up going at it because China's population currently is crashing. It is not what everyone thought it was going to be. And there's a good possibility that the population isn't as high as the Chinese government says it is. COVID. So yeah, there's a lot of information, a lot of videos coming out of China regarding the number of deaths, the number of births, a lot of morgues, crematoriums are reporting 10 times the normal pre-COVID numbers since COVID. So imagine you're running a business, which I don't know, is it like state run over there? Is it how they heat their homes? I don't know. But they've been saying that their numbers are 10 times what they should be if everything was back to normal. And there's some speculation that the Chinese population is really like around 300 to 500 million as opposed to the 1.4 billion because they don't want to admit how many people they lost due to a disease, and COVID just never disappeared over there. It's still running rampant. People are still reporting getting it, people dying from it. There's more funerals than there are births being celebrated. It's a total shit show. So perhaps the whole China-India thing that I had speculated a decade ago isn't gonna happen. That's fine. It was meant to be fiction. No, India and Pakistan, that is a whole other can of worms. They have good reason to not like each other. Gandhi's rolling over in his grave. He just wanted it to stay one India. We can all coexist. You know, don't let anybody divide you. Oops. Then there's the fact that everybody keeps pointing out they are both nuclear powers. I don't remember the exact numbers, but they're both around 170 nukes apiece. And these aren't small strategic nukes either. And Pakistan seems to have a bug up their ass about wanting to use the damn things. Because they're saying that our nukes were not meant to be displayed in a museum. I don't think they realize how these weapons work, but you wouldn't want to display them for anyone to see. So yeah, they have like an itchy trigger finger, and their Minister of Defense, whatever the hell the title is, stated that the moment that Pakistan feels like it won't exist, or that their existence is threatened, that's what it was, that no one will exist. Now, they don't have enough nukes in order to do that, but there are certain things that they could do to make a very drastic death count. I always speculated that maybe North Korea or Russia would detonate a nuke in space and do the whole EMP thing. Pakistan, I don't know. They might have like one smart guy over there that knows about this. Because recently, one of their politicians stated, yes, we shot down 5 Indian jets. And they're like, do you have any confirmation of this? Oh, it's all over social media. Yeah, we're in trouble. Because I thought our government was dumb, but Pakistan, wow, they picked the lowest of the low in order to run their shit. That is not good. Stupid people do stupid things. This also brings me back to something called the Deagel report. A short history on this guy. Deagel, he was a contractor. He would write these reports and gather information and hand it over to the government as to, what would happen if we overthrew Libya, stuff like that. So this guy had been doing this for years, and he died, I believe it was 2020 or 2021, but not before writing a final report. That final report was the 2025 projection for what the world would look like. And he had the population of the United States being around 92 million. Seems like a lot, but then when you look at our population being 350 million plus, what happened in order for it to drop to 92 million? He never states in the report, but he projects a lot of population decline in certain countries. A lot of people thought this had to do with like COVID, the amount of damage that COVID was going to do. But no, I have a feeling it's something else. Imagine this, if you will. India and Pakistan actually go to nuclear war, which another report speculated there'd be nuclear war by 2025. Now we have these two throwing blows. Largest dogfight since World War II just happened. 125 jets involved between Pakistan and India, going back and forth. Now imagine they do drop nukes. You're going to have a couple of issues. You're going to have nuclear fallout, depending on how many of these damn things they drop. Mosquito. It's warm enough for those little bastards to be out. And depending on how many nukes they drop, you could end up with a bunch of ash, dust in the air, crops failing. Don't know how far that nuclear fallout's going to go. That could be the situation where we lose 3/4 of our population. If you think about it, people are already freaking out about tariffs and shortages. Imagine what would happen if those two went to war. So is this something to be concerned about? Yeah. A couple morons in a room starting a fight. Yep. I'd be worried. Stupid people are the worst common denominator of disaster. So, what do you do? Well, I know most people are not in my situation, so some of this is going to sound a little unfair, but do with it what you will. You definitely need to have a pantry. You need to buy some type of water filtration, preferably like a Berkey, something like that. Be close to a water source. Even if they're in the city, there might be a stream, river, someplace where you can get water. Protection. Some type of legal protection, I guess. But let's face it, if we're looking at the type of situation that is outlined in this report, well, guess what? The law probably isn't going to be coming to your door when you call 911. They're going to be dealing with a whole bunch of other stupid shit, or just not going to work. Shelter, heat, not just shelter, but you gotta have an ability to heat the place, stay warm somehow. These are all things that need to be considered. And keep in mind, wherever you are when this stuff happens, it's probably where you're going to stay. 100 years ago, the majority of the people in the world did not travel more than 5 miles away from where they were born. So all these people that went to the United States, immigrated, migrated, however you want to say it, to a new land, those were the exception. On a side note, I saw a very interesting, it's kind of a documentary by the author Will Self. He went to the place where Kafka lived. Kafka spent his entire life in one city. Wasn't wealthy. Nobody knew who the hell he was, literary-wise, until after he died. And Will went around the town on foot, as Kafka would have, and was pondering how many times he walked these streets, what shops did he go into, where did he work. That was the majority of people's lives. So wherever it is you are, if something goes down between India and Pakistan, aside from how much gas you have in your car, that is where you will be. Interesting time to live. And of course, Donald Trump, JD Vance are like, not our problem, which I 100% agree. However, I don't see anybody else really standing up to try to broker peace between these two, which, you know what? Just my opinion here. But when you have a country of douchebags like Pakistan living next door, it gets very tempting to just burn the house down, right? And personally, I think that Donald Trump and his administration needs to just hand over to India whatever they ask for. Oh, you want some fighter jets? We can give you some fighter jets. You want some nice tanks? We'll give you some nice tanks. After the bullshit Pakistan has done over the last 25 years, does anybody else remember the last 25 years in Pakistan, this country that claims to be one of our allies but are the biggest bunch of douchebags, a huge bag of dicks? They harbored bin Laden, allegedly. The Taliban, the entire time that we're at war with the Taliban, they just retreat into Pakistan, and our allies, Pakistan, are like, we didn't know they were here. fucking liars. Having these assholes going to their military schools, giving lectures on their tactics to the Pakistani military, sharing their experiences of fighting the Americans. Fuck Pakistan. Fuck them right up the ass. Now they have this bullshit going on in India where they're sending guys, oh, those are terrorists. Hey, you killed civilians. Make up your fucking mind, assholes. Are they terrorists? Are they civilians? No, they send these guys into a Indian-run portion of Kashmir where these guys go around to these tourists who are just out having a good time. Imagine going to some place like, oh, I don't know, Mackinac Island. And a bunch of assholes show up with AKs asking you to read parts of the Quran and then telling you to drop trow in order to prove that you're a Muslim. And if you aren't, they just shoot you in the head in front of your family. That bullshit? Nah, India should have done a full-fledged strike against Pakistan at that point. This whole, like, we're restraining ourselves, we're only hitting terrorist targets. Fuck that. Nope, you know the Pakistani government was involved. I would have bombed their goddamn military headquarters, their fucking capital. You pull some bullshit like that, you're gonna need a fucking United Nations non-binding resolution in order to get my ass off of you. People are sick of this shit. Everyone is fed up. You want to be the lowest common denominator in your fucking neighborhood to the point where everybody around you hates you? Keep it up. If Pakistan did not exist anymore, I wouldn't feel sad. Hell, I hope they have more earthquakes, because they fucking deserve it. Now the people are talking about how Pakistan's trying to align with Hamas and Palestine. Now everyone's gonna be talking about how free Pakistan. It is a sovereign nation, assholes. It's just run by a bunch of assholes like you. All the protests on the campuses are going to start. India's aggression against Pakistan cannot stand, man. Oh my God. No, this is what happened with Israel too. What, the October 7th attacks? Bunch of guys come in, start slaughtering people at a freaking concert. Again, people just trying to have a good time. Can't have that. Can't enjoy some music, some dancing. Nope. Somebody's got to go and raid the party and shit in the punch bowl. And eventually those people... India needs a fucking blanket party at this point. Not India, Pakistan. I am totally misspoke there. Pakistan. Wrap them up in a blanket. Beat the shit out of them. Teach them a goddamn lesson. We will not tolerate this bullshit. No, I think Trump actually needs to support India on this one. And keep in mind, it's also in the best interest of American corporations as well. You got to learn how to speak to these people in their own language, including Trump. Was it Apple just moved a bunch of their facilities over to India because of the tariffs? A bunch of other corporations are moving their production lines over to India because of the tariffs. So if India goes to war, and Apple and all these other countries who have already invested God knows how many hundreds of millions of dollars into making this move, And then all of a sudden they lose a shit ton of money. Well, that's not good for us. Again, I couldn't give a shit. I hate Apple phones. But in order to get what you want, you gotta talk to these people in their own language. And what I want is India wiped off. India. I want Pakistan wiped off the face of the fucking earth. And here's the other thing. India finally gets pissed off to the point where they send troops into Pakistan. That is when Pakistan, and this is all in theory, if they can't push back the Indian forces, that's when they drop nukes. And both sides end up dropping nukes. And that is the most plausible turnout of this if it keeps escalating. So yeah, this is not good. This could turn into something that is life-altering for the rest of the planet. And I keep going back to the Deagel report. Because why? This guy with all this information, who has this job of writing these reports for the government, speculating as to what could happen. And this is his last warning that he posts onto his website. Which, by the way, I might have one of the last copies of the report on my website, thecollapseexperiment.com, where you can find the Deagel report. If you do a search, I believe it's EL at the end instead of LE. Dude, for some reason, decided to change the spelling of his name for the company. And, yeah. So is this what we're looking at? Look around. Because about 3/4 of the people around you might not be around by the end of the year, according to this dude. And we're in May. It could be a bad summer. So anyways, that is about it for me today. Have fun with those clips where I accidentally misspoke about India. Because I don't edit any of this shit. I don't have the time. So anyways, stop supporting assholes. Maybe we'd have a better planet. Keep on typing.